Hello Star Wars fans, and welcome to episode 24 of Journey into Legends. Today we are going to be talking about the final book of the Sacorrian trilogy, Showdown at Centerpoint. Showdown at Centerpoint is the third and final installment of Roger McBride Allen's Sacorrian trilogy, and it was released in 1995. I'm excited to get into this one, as I've been enjoying this trilogy thus far, and the last book set up some interesting storylines and questions to be answered. So without further ado, let's read and review. Alright, I just finished Showdown at Centerpoint, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it did a decent job of concluding this trilogy, and a lot of my questions were answered. Overall, it was a fun ride, but careful for spoilers if you haven't read this book yet. After the previous book, Han and the Selonians have now reunited with Leia and Mara Jade and are en route to Selonia. Unfortunately, for most of this book, the characters are held prisoner again by the Overden on Selonia and left with very little to do. Since there wasn't much going on with this storyline, the only important thing to come out of it was the revelation that the Sacorrian Triad were the masterminds behind this entire trilogy, something I'll talk more about later. After the previous book, Chewbacca, Ibrahim, Q9 Marcha, and the twins were left to investigate the Drall Planetary Repulsor. Compared to the Selonian plotline, this one was a little bit more entertaining, especially when Thrak and Sal Solo showed up on the planet and took them all prisoner. This storyline had some fun action scenes as well as some good character interactions, and I liked how it connected to the final battle in the third act. But overall, again, much of this plotline was uneventful and uninteresting. One of the better storylines in the book involves Luke and Lando as they investigate the mysterious Centerpoint Station. Accompanied by the droids, Gairiel Captison and Belindi Kalenda, they venture into the giant space station, they meet the administrator of the station, Jenica Sonson, and they uncover the mysteries of the Starbuster plot. This storyline was a mixed bag for me. I enjoyed the eerie nature of the station and the mysteries uncovered by the characters, but a lot of what they encountered inside Centerpoint was boring, such as Hollowtown and the Glowpoint flares. One of the most intriguing aspects of this trilogy was the overarching mystery of who was behind the Corellian crisis and the Starbuster plot. Unfortunately, the revelation that it was the Sacorrian Triad was extremely underwhelming, especially because the members of the Triad are never actually shown or revealed. So in the end, despite being unmasked as the masterminds of the crisis, there's never actually a face put to the threat. So when the book concludes, the plotline feels unresolved. The titular showdown at Centerpoint was easily the highlight of this book for me. One of my biggest issues with the previous books was that they both lacked a climax, a crescendo in the third act to end off the book. But luckily, this book, which has the tremendous responsibility of ending the entire trilogy, concludes with a massive battle between the Bakuran and Sacorrian fleets. Although it wasn't the most entertaining battle ever, I did enjoy it, and I thought it had some standout moments, such as the deaths of both Gairiel Captison and Admiral Osselage, and the arrival of Admiral Akbar's fleet. I also really liked how almost all of the book's plotlines converged at this battle, such as the usage of Drall's planetary repulsor to disrupt Centerpoint's superweapon. Overall, I thought this book was definitely the best structured and most fun of the three books. It answered all the questions I had, and it had some great moments, but unfortunately, just like the previous two books, it suffers from uneventful side plots and a lack of a clear main villain. I thought it did a decent job of concluding the trilogy, even though the Triad remained anonymous and some of the loose ends were hastily and poorly tied up. I've decided to give this book an 80%. Despite its issues, it was still an entertaining read and a suitable conclusion to the trilogy. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video where I'll be reviewing the Jabba the Hutt one-shot comics. See ya.